I absolutely love Apple Pay. I love the idea of putting a knife inside the credit card and debit card. No more swiping your card. Everything is much more secure using Apple Pay. But where does Apple Pay stand on its first birthday? In this video, we're going to be going over the history of Apple Pay so far in the last year. So let's start with the good news. Good news is that it's growing, and thanks to competition and new iPhone sales cycles, this has proven to be very effective in terms of adopting Apple Pay. More competition is out on the market. You got Android Pay and Samsung throwing out their cards into the NFC battle. And you also got Apple trying to get as many users as they possibly can onto the platform. Whenever Apple Pay was released, only 12% of iPhone users had some sort of iPhone model that was compatible with the service. It's increased to roughly 47% and will continue to increase thanks to the release of the iPhone 6s. So Apple's trying extremely hard to get as many users as they can onto a minimum 6 or higher device, so that way they can take advantage of Apple Pay. Also, a great key factor to this is more card issuers are participating in Apple Pay. Whenever Apple Pay launched, there was just a very small handful of banks. Now over 400 financial institutions support Apple Pay, including some very small local branches. This is very awesome and is very key to the growth and continuation of Apple Pay. There was a very strong initial adoption, and it's continued to increase over the past year. So now let's talk about some problems and some potential issues that still lurk with Apple Pay today. The main reason is that people just simply can't keep up. There's a couple surveys performed by InfoScout and Payments.com that say the share of iPhone 6 users who say they use Apple Pay, quote, every chance they can, has fallen from 48% in March to 33% in June. Also, the percentage of people who say they rarely consider using Apple Pay has increased from 17% to 23% over that exact same time period. And a key factor of this may be the simple fact that big name merchants still do not support Apple Pay. There's most really large retailers such as Walgreens and Best Buy and other retailers that do support Apple Pay, but the main issue is that Current C is a very big problem in the adoption of Apple Pay. Current C is a type of payment method that is backed by Walmart, CVS, and Lowe's, other big name retailers out there, and they basically throw a big curveball into the adoption of Apple Pay for tons and millions of consumers because it's not accepted inside their store. So we can potentially see other retailers flip this decision. I know Rite Aid was a big adopter of Current C, and they just flipped the switch for Apple Pay not too long ago. So the fact that big name resellers and merchants can still support Apple Pay despite Current C is still valid. So while this is probably not going to happen in the near future, you probably won't be able to use Apple Pay at Walmart ever, but there are some other really big retailers that can still support Apple Pay, and I do see this happening in the future. So the growth and adoption of Apple Pay has grown steadily. However, people are starting to lose interest just a little bit. I use Apple Pay any chance I can, but there's just so many retailers that I wish would just accept Apple Pay. And the simple fact that the places that I currently use Apple Pay I don't visit very often, it plays a very big factor into why I don't use it. However, I am starting to use Apple Pay more often in in-app purchases and other applications such as Etsy and other applications that do accept Apple Pay. So there's also a market in in-app applications using Apple Pay. But overall, Apple Pay is a wonderful service, a wonderful platform, and there's no doubt that Apple Pay won't go away. Apple Pay is here to stay, and I believe that Apple can really turn this into something revolutionary, as it already has been. So what do you guys think? Do you guys use Apple Pay often? Let me know inside the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to TechSolid if you haven't already. My name is Preston. I'll see you guys inside the next video.